calling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
This is
that was
what
what
I
I'm
meant
supposed to do. I meant to be here. And then when they changed administration,
I'm good at this.
and they changed it. You know, I mean, it got so I was so whatever, Richard. The nurses were coming to me asking me, should they do this and should they do that?
Right.
I mean, you know, this is no story. This is the truth. This is the honest truth. And it was like, but then they changed the administration, and it got to be a more political. You know, I'm going to look, and I want to, you know, kiss up to the big man. And things where we were working together, where everything, we were working as a group, everything just became independent. You're on your own. And I said, yo, I am too old for this, a little later for this. And I'm having to go over there and tell them, look, I'm not from a third world, and I'm having to say, you can have it. Yep. You can have it.
I tell you, once you made up your mind, because I knew a few weeks before that I'd had it.
And see, I didn't. I was too good. See, I said it was maybe a few days before, and I said, I'm not doing it anymore. Right. I said, I'm not. It's like God said, Rose, you don't have to go back in that hellhole
if you want.
Right.
You can stop this
if you want. You can stop it if you want. You're not making any more there than you would if you retire.
That's
so
what
later,
you come to.
Later. Then you don't have to do it. You don't have to be answerable. Yep. You put in those years to work. And then too, I got to thinking about Cena, and I said, Dag, she worked all of those years, of those years, got sick in the condition she was in, and did not read one penny. One penny. Well, Richard, I'm telling the story. They did, after she passed, they did, what is it, supplemental security, whatever.
Supplemental deal?
Yeah. They sent out a check for $12. You know, and I'm going, hey, yo, she's gone. You know, I said later for this. And that's really what drove me. I said, I don't care. I'm not, you know, you can take
I went almost like you. I went to work Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I said, I'm calling out. I called out. Because it was so lousy for Monday and Tuesday. Every Monday is the same thing. It was like, yeah, I got the best job in the store. I had everything going, but every Monday was, you know me, the prep in the weekend. Monday, Tuesday, I called out that Wednesday. I said, I'm not coming in. Oh, you okay, Tom? Yeah, I'm all right. Thursday, I'm not coming in. Oh, all right, you think you'll make it here tomorrow? Because when I ain't coming in, stuff's just building up. This is, yeah, maybe. Next day, Friday. That Thursday night when I called him, I got online, I looked at Social Security, I put in for all the stuff, you know. I made up my mind then. I got me a letter. I had Pat hit me up, you know, glad to have been with you. Thank you. Because of this, goodbye. I went in that Friday morning. I took a cart and rolled to the back where all my stuff was. The young man, he says, what's up, Tom? What are you doing? I says, I'm leaving. That's it. Get out of here. I says, okay. I packed my cart up with all my personal stuff, went up front. The manager was there, Keith. Hey, man, how you doing? You feeling all right? I said, I'm feeling great. You might not be feeling good after you read this letter. Oh, man, don't tell me I'm gone. Goodbye. It took me a month to even go back there to shop.
You know what? And I understand what you're saying, because I think I don't think I've been back over to Iredale but twice, 3 times at the most since I walked out that door. There's nothing. It's nothing. I have no, you know, there's nothing I want there.
Nothing draws you there.
Nothing. Nothing. I mean, it's like, I haven't known that many people who've been hospitalized, but, you know, but I go, you know, there's nothing there. I don't want to, and they say, well, Rose, why don't you come and have lunch? I don't want to eat your food. I don't want to be there.
Right.
You know, I'm through.
They asked me when I went back, oh, you didn't get your apron. Do you want, you know, they usually have my apron and everybody sign it. I said, the people I'm interested in doing. Andy called me last week. I told him I'd be out of town this week. Older guy, he was older than me working there. Andy called, said he wanted to know if he could invite us over to, because him and his wife have a Thanksgiving, Christmas thing every year. Amy called a couple of times. 2 or 3 people called, you know. The lady I work with in the back, you know how many times Dina's called? She was useless anyhow. And she knew that I knew she was useless. But I ain't missed it at all.
Yeah,
like you
I
said,
have not.
it's like once that first check came in and Pat saw, oh, well, that's
Well, see,
everything evens out.
Even out because you're not making any less than.
Exactly.
And you're getting up, going through all these changes, going through all that havoc, going through this, and it's not worth it.
The older I get, Rose, the more I believe and see Mr. Einstein's theory is correct.
Which one?
Space and time is one thing. We just don't understand it. And so we try to break it into two.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. That's true.
And
you know what? It says, when were you born?
Jersey.
No, when? What year?
76.
Oh, you're going to be late on retirement.
if they go for this okie doke. See, and then again with the political crap. Social Security can be fixed easily, quickly, and it's good for 30-some years already. It can be fixed forever. All you got to do is either increase the premiums that people paying into it, or extend the age a couple of years out. Those things you can fix Social Security with.
Mm-hmm.
The problem we got in this country with overspending, there's a problem with overspending.
And wasting.
It is. There's always going to be waste.
Always.
It's like welfare.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be somebody that shouldn't be there, but that's what they are. I can't. When I give a begging person $1, beyond me giving it to them and me receiving the blessing, the blessing by having given it, I don't care what they do with that $1.
Me either.
I
That's
don't
me.
care.
That's me too.
They can go buy wine. They can get whatever
they
food,
want to.
whatever.
That's me.
I've
If
done
I'm
my
going to give
thing.
it to you,
Right.
here.
I've done my thing. I'm
That's
getting
me.
my reward.
That's
My
me.
reward is nothing
That's
now.
me. That's me.
So people that cry about people on welfare and getting over and that's human nature. All of us are in here, and some of us are real thrifty. We're over here in this corner, and some of us are real wasteful. But there's one ball that we're all here. You can say we're still in that same thing.
The same thing.
There's nobody. I always say there's nobody on this earth that's in this human race with me, as far as I know, that came from somewhere else. They can look and say, "Look at what y'all doing. We all here. We all going with this."
Right.
When you see Jeffrey Dahmer, the dude that killed people and ate them, you say, how could he do that? Yeah, I don't know. But given the right circumstances, you could too.
That's right. That's
know?
right.
If
That's
not,
right.
and everyone, if not for the grace of God,
Right.
there goes me. So I get to that. This whole political thing with we can fix
just,
everything if
but
we
they're
stop.
they're not going to fix it. And the reason, to me, my analogy or my perception is that they're not going to fix it simply because of the color of Obama's skin. Period.
Oh, you mean the current thing right now? Yeah, right now.
They're not. Richard, it was all they did. Now this is me.
Okay.
I believe, and I've never shared this, but I believe that the powers to be, whether he won by majority or not, they had to put the blame for failure on somebody.
Right.
So the best thing they could do is put a nigga up there.
Damn, you sound like me before you even got elected.
Okay? They put him
still
up there.
being, I said, you look
They
at the
put him
science
up there.
fiction bitches every time the world is
They
ending.
put
Who's in charge?
They put him, that's right, they put him up there. Okay? You can't tell me that with his intelligence, with his abilities, with his wife can run the United States. You understand me? You talking about two people sitting up there with the intelligence to run the United States.
Let me stop you right here for a second.
Okay.
1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
Obama is intelligent, and so is his wife, and I'm proud of that from being black people and being human, in fact. Being human, really. He's an intelligent human being. He's bettered himself, and so is she, and become aware of issues on a real tip. But that's not necessary to be the president of the United States. That's what we have to understand.
But we do.
That the guy who was in there just prior to that
couldn't even read.
Couldn't even read. So we understand
this is what we
don't
know
really need
an intelligence.
we
don't
to run this country.
We do not.
Which tells you what? The individual isn't running the country. That individual, no matter how smart, no matter how dumb, no matter how religious, unreligious, no matter, that individual is just like the old king was. He's something for the masses to look at, to take their anger out on, to take their greed, he's something they can focus on. The real powers that put Obama in there to do all the stuff, those powers we don't see.
We don't see them.
You know,
and
we see the influence.
You know what? And I don't think that what really disturbs me too is I don't think that some of us have that insight.
Most of us don't.
You know, we just, that's why I'm saying they are looking totally at the that's it. They're not looking beyond to say, you know, I was reading not long ago where it says on that we're in a deflation now, right? We're in a depression. We're in a depression.
Right. That's what we're in.
We're in a depression. Williams, Holland, Rose, we are now. Yes, we are. We are in a depression. I said, Rose, no. Yes, we are. Okay. And Obama did not become president until what? 2008?
2009.
2009, was it 9 or 8? 8.
8.
Right.
Or maybe the very end of 8. The very end of 8. You're right.
Article, and see, it only stayed there, Richard. I saw it one time, and boom, it was gone. It was gone. Where inflation, depression began actually in 2007.
Oh yeah.
And see, they don't publicize that. They don't say that. You know, you look at this dummy we had over there dancing with the Africans over there doing, and then, hey, he never wanted to be president. Only reason he was president was because his daddy made him be president so he could go. That was the only reason. That was, Bush did not want, and he let us know. I don't want. He was the one who went out here and you know, and he borrowed all these billions of dollars from what, China was it? Was it China?
China.
And I'm sitting up there thinking, I didn't know, I said, when they came on, I said, Dad, I didn't know we did, I didn't know nothing about this.
Rose, do you understand what's going on with the tax thing now? They want to, we're in a deficit. The country's in a big deficit. We owe a lot of money to the Chinese and other people around the world. The revenue we're taking in doesn't really fit what we're putting out. And we gave the tax break. Everybody across the board is allowed to enjoy this tax break because instead of taking the money in taxes from us, they go to China and borrow the money. They said, well, instead of taking $2 billion from the American public in taxes, let's give them a tax break. Then they go to China and they borrow $2 billion. So, that's bad enough. When Bush and them were in there and they were trying to spur the economy and Obama coming in, him trying to do the same thing. But now we're at the thing where they say, well, you know, we need some revenue coming in. So Obama's team says, well, let's cut the tax break off for anyone making $250,000 a year or more. That's what is being proposed by the Democrats. The Republicans say, no. Everybody has got to get a tax break. The poor, the rich, everybody across the board, the breaks have to hold. Now, what is that saying, really? What they're saying is, even if they tax everybody, even if they say to everybody, if you make up to $250,000 a year, you're not going to be taxed. You keep the break. If you make $500,000 a year, you're only going to be taxed on $250,000. They don't want that. So, I'm like Harry Truman now. How the hell is a poor man, a working man, ever get into his mind that he wants to vote for a Republican? What's that all about? How does a working man get in his mind he wants to vote or has something in common with these people who have more than he will ever think
Ever
about
think
getting.
about having, ever think about getting, ever think
What
about
gives him that? What gives him that fellowship, if you would, is this, just like you said. But beyond this, what we have to keep in mind in this country and going forward, and for our kids and for everybody in the world, in fact, is that it's not really about this. Because Mo said it 30 years ago. All poor people ain't black.
Mm-hmm.
And all black people ain't poor.
That's right.
It's not really about this. It's about class. It's about those that have the resources and those that don't.
The have and have
In
not.
this country, you have 80% of all the wealth that's manufacturing, pharmaceutical, farming, industry, you name it. 80% of it is owned by 2% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it don't make no difference whether that 2% is black, green, red, or white. Because this 98% of the rest of us is sucking hind tit, if you would. So how is that allowed to be maintained?
Because the powers, and I think too, Richard, that we have not grown to an extent beyond us, our slave mentality.
But it's not just us, Rose.
But I'm saying, I don't mean just us. You know, when us for
I
black
see what
people.
you mean, right.
They
gotta suffer the same things. Mm-hmm.
Their slave mentality is
right.
keep us
it's
down.
The mentality too. You're right.
It's a slave mentality.
You're right.
Keep them. It's not just blacks.
Right.
It's minorities.
Right.
Period.
You're
minorities economically, and minorities socially, minorities racially.
Right.
Keep those.
Keep them down.
I'm gonna say niggas. All them niggas. Keep them niggas down.
All them.
Keep the niggas down. Keep them niggas down. You understand what I'm saying? Slave mentality. And see what we do. We as a black nation is we're not seeing beyond. We're still thinking back in 1816. To an extent, we are not seeing, and we're not growing mentally. The majority of us are not growing mentally because we're still underhand. We're still at a loss. We're still not pulling together. We don't, and I guess it goes back to me.
We've been integrated.
Yeah.
We've been integrated.
Well, I was going to say it goes back to what William said. William don't put it. William is milder than I am. He doesn't use the N word, and we have a slave.
Yeah, doesn't you know that word has power?
Yeah, honey, it does. We see, you know, he's.
That word has power. I hear you. I give
We
respect wherever it's
we
I tell Pat, I had to get Pat to realize, babe. Here's a word that for 500 years they've used to harass, beat, and hassle us.
That's right.
Now, our black youth comes up and says, we ain't afraid of this word. This word don't mean jack, and we're going to use it, and only us is going to use it exclusively.
And now,
all of a sudden,
everybody's using it.
There's no, and this is the thing that lets you know what the word is all about. There's no other word in the English fucking language. Not even fornication on the consent of the king. That is reserved with a letter to designate it. The boom word. Okay? There's no other word. So that tells you that word has power. And they want to get away from it. Why? Because they've lost their power to use it effectively. It's like,
until we learn, I don't know, until we learn it. I just pray for Mr. Obama. I just pray for him. I just pray for the whole everybody, because we're in trouble.
You know 2012 is coming. It's around the corner, girl.
We are in trouble. We are.
2012 is around the corner.
I look around and I say, shoot. I said, I'm not getting rid of, because you know they're tearing down the school over there. Near the house, they're tearing it down.
Really? The school right next to the house?
Yeah, they're tearing portions of it down. They've taken the middle part, which was the original part. They've taken it down already. and they fought for
like a
president.
historical site.
Oh yeah, they wiped it out. Well, it was in Erie Perry. I mean, they let it go. Even before Daddy died, he was talking about the roof was falling in, floors were falling in. You know, it was a hazard. So they weren't going to put the money into it because of the location too.
Yeah.
So they're tearing it down. I said, shoot, they can tear down what they want. And then that one time they wanted all of us to sell out over there. I told them, I'm not selling nothing.
There you go.
I ain't selling jack. I ain't selling nothing. Because one thing for certain and one thing for sure, when it all comes down to it, God has given us a place to lay our head. Every one of us down here. We have. And we got to get out of here and go down there and set up tent or whatever. We have a place to lay our heads that nobody can touch. I am not selling nothing. If I need to build something else and extend it on over down in the property down in there, I can do what I want to. Over here, you can't breathe over here, historical district. But over there, if we would needed to build apartments for Eric, put the whole family in it, we can do it. We can do it. I said, I'm not selling nothing.
Yep.
I said, I am not selling. I'm not giving up nothing. Nothing. That's all I have, and I'm not giving up nothing. I don't care. I do not care. But see, we don't take care. Black people have lost so much property around here, Rich, till it's a shame. We just don't.
We became integrated, baby.
Shut up using that word to me. We became something. I don't know what it is. Because I tell them, shoot, Martin Luther King didn't say for us to close our schools. He didn't say for us. He didn't say that. He did not.
What we didn't do is we didn't listen to our prophets just the way they didn't listen to Jesus. They heard what they wanted to hear, but they didn't hear the message. They didn't hear the message.
He did not say he was not fighting to close our schools for us to go to their school. He was not fighting for that. He said he wanted our children to read the same books.
He wanted them to
have the same.
What was the song that used to be famous back then?
Which one?
God bless the child that has his own.
That's all he was saying. He said.
But they saw the way to weaken us, and Malcolm said this 40-something years ago.
Yeah.
When you got black people and they're solid and together and angry, it's like a hot cup of coffee. It's hot, it's black, and it'll burn you.
But see,
how do you calm it down? You start mixing it with cream and sugar, you make it sweet, and what? And all of a sudden,
see, we don't have that.
You ain't got no strong coffee no more. Well, that's where we got integrated, see, so there's no strength. I went to Steve's, this had to be 15 years ago. Steve was in high school, 10 years ago. And we went to a thing, they had a speaker there, and a guy, there was a bunch of parents and kids, and the guy says, he was talking about how blacks weren't supporting our own and whatnot. And I said, well, you got to understand that's because integration. We accepted integration. So what do you mean we accept integration? Well, historically, when you have a culture that is superior technologically, and also when they have more resources at their disposal, and they come in contact with another culture, they absorb that other culture. They don't succumb to it. They don't make a place for it. They absorb it. Black people have been absorbed into the white culture.
That's true.
And so it's very hard for us to try to extricate ourselves and do something on our own. Why? Well, because you know any black people that open motels around here?
Lord, no.
And if you had your home open with a room upstairs that was really laid out and bread and breakfast and all this, you think you could compete against Howard Johnson? Against Days Inn?
Even against the people around the corner, and the people over there. That's true.
Your relatives, your friends, your other acquaintances, all black people, where if they're moving and traveling, what are they going to have to do? Go to Howard Johnson's. Go to Days Inn. Well, what food are they going to eat? Go to your backyard rib cookout? I'm going to sit down and eat. We accepted the integration. And the same thing is going on with our schools, see? We accepted the integration, which means our children, we accepted them controlling how and what our kids would be educated with. Now, after the fact, we're trying to get a grip on all this stuff, and that's where all the confusion comes. That's where all the chaos is coming from. The charter schools and this, that, and the other. They don't give a shit about schools. Not that 2% at the top. The 2% at the top does not care about your schools because their sons and daughters don't go to those schools anyhow.
That's true. And you know what's so it's so devastating. Not that it's concerning. I won't say devastating. That even when we go out and we branch out into these charter schools, we do our children just as much harm as that 2% does.
Absolutely.
We do our children and our society as much harm
that's what
as the 2% because we're skimming straight off the top.
Rose.
We're getting this straight. You know, the money's coming in,
the 2%,
and we got these.
The 2% own and influence everything.
That's right.
If not directly, then indirectly, it goes back to the 2% at the top. So when you are taking money, they don't want your public schools to succeed. People have to understand this. They don't want the public schools to succeed in this country. Why should they want to get a bunch of smart-ass black kids? Come on.
And you know, Richard, you're saying that, and I stood in church, at First Baptist Church, I bet you 8, 9 years ago, I said that same thing, because the only thing you were hearing, and they were pumping in our children from the pulpit, black church, we have the lowest scores. We have the lowest is. And here I am, dumb me, standing up there, do not believe this propaganda.
Right.
You know, everybody looking at me like, uh-oh, she's lost. You know, I'm saying our children are as intelligent as our children can do. This is a lot of propaganda that is being fed to you. So you will believe that, and our children will believe when it gets into your mind and go to. And I stood in front of the church and said it, and I said it. Richard, nobody believe me. Ain't no way we got dumb black kids running around. Look at what we've done in Washington, New York. How many streets we built. How many monuments we built. There is no way we have dumb black people. We are one of the strongest, most intelligent race on this earth. And we do not have enough sense.
Anywhere we have an influence, we do just that. We influence.
That's right. That's right. We have to. I mean, but
and you know, I remember a teacher told me this years ago. This was when I was in high school. He says, black people, and this is a white teacher, and and I was the only black in the class. He said, we have to realize that Negro people. He said Negro at that time. Negro people. Well, it was an English teacher, and he was talking about how English came from a dead language, Latin, and other different language, Greek and whatnot, and how things that in a culture keep a language alive. And that blacks in this country, Negroes in this country, world scale really, Negroes in this country, keep the English language culture alive with new words, new meanings, all of that. Now this had to be 40 years ago. This teacher's telling me this. This is before I even thought of it in rap. And now I look at rap and how it's changed, and hip-hop. It's changed not just what's here in America and in the black community. Hip-hop and rap have changed
worldwide.
The music industry worldwide. It's changed the entertainment industry worldwide. You know? And the languages and the words we use and the things. Considering how small a piece of the population we make up in this country, it's phenomenally influence that we have anytime we have access to making a difference. When we have access to making a difference, that difference is made. And that's why there's so much pressure to make sure that our access is minimized.
That's true. That's true. They don't want us. They don't want it. And that is a very good analogy because we were talking about that, and I had not even thought about that it is worldwide. Rap is world, and you know
they got Pakistani terrorists rapping. Israelis rapping. They got people all over the world, South Africa, wherever,
everywhere. And when you listen to it, when you actually sit, if you can understand it on my age, my age level, if I can get into the words and get into the message, there's a message there.
Rose.
There are messages there, and those messages are coming back from even slave time.
It's nothing. The message is not new. The delivery is new.
That's right.
Or different, a little change, if you would. But the message is not new. It's the same cry for justice. It's the same exposure of injustice. It's all of this. And it's coming from the youth. So how
do the youth know about the injustice, and the pain?
Exactly.
How?
But the real deal is this. The real deal is not only will they know about it, but their experience with it is very limited. Because they're only 20, 25 years old at the most. Most of them, 16, 15. So their experience and exposure to the world in general has been very limited. But even then, they cry, they talk, they rap about what their experience has been, what they know.
Which is pain and suffering.
Which is the pain, the suffering, the injustice that this culture, this society gives to them. And then it's like, well, why do you always want to rap about that?
We rapped about it. Yo,
it ain't like I'm getting a whole lot of good stuff happening to me.
I know they had a march down in, what was it, Atlantic Beach. They went down the church, a church in Atlantic Beach, South Carolina is having some difficulties with the law enforcement there and the what I want to say, chamber and whatever, the powers to be, whatever. And I have my analogy of that too. William, they had called in all the ministers to come in. Well, William didn't go the first time because you remember seeing about the fire in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
5 people?
Right,
those were William's relatives. Those were his relatives who were killed. So he had to go to that. He was up at that. And then they had another march. And, well, no, that was before he just said he wasn't going. Then he said, Rose, you going? Nope. I have done my marching. I marched. He said, I said, I said, I was out in Tennessee, Fisk University,
White Rose.
supposed to be out there in school. Went up there, marched, supposed to be in jail for 1 hour. We stayed a week. I said, I will not march again. And I said, no, I will not. I'll march for my children, my grandchildren, but I am not marching. I said, I am not marching. Now, if it was really something, you know what I'm saying? If it was really something I really felt in my heart and had a clear understanding, had a clear definition of what was going on, I'd march. I'd do it.
Right.
I don't know. This is a bunch of it's something flaky about that. And then there's preachers hollering down there. Preacher is hollering. What did she say? No justice, no peace. I said she should be with Angela Davis somewhere. Preacher does not get. I said that's where she. This is old school, William. That's what we did in the '60s. That's what she need to do. No justice, no peace. I said I'm not marching. I'm not marching. I can't go with you, bro. I'm not marching.
Y'all have a good time. Huh?
Yeah, you have a good time. If we need to, we'll come get you. I called everybody, said if we need to go travel to South Carolina, pick up your dad, your granddad, we're rolling. But I am not marching. If the Calvin said, see, brother, you better tell him, because he go down there and get it. Say, they bad in South Carolina. They got you on those bean farms.
South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina, they put you on those bean farms. But it is interesting to, I wish people, because see, the Black Caucus is not even paying attention to what we're seeing. You know, the Black Caucus is even, and I don't deify Obama. I do not deify him at all. You know, I think he's as I said, an intelligent black man.
Exactly.
I think we fought for him. We got him, blah, 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 blah. But I'm saying, you know, when we think, see, if it didn't take off, if it was just black people who got him in office, he wouldn't be there.
He wouldn't be there.
You know, and common sense says that you cannot do for just one race of people. He's not there for one race of people, and we're not even taught. Our bringing and upbringing in our society has taught us that black people are for all people. We are a very unselfish.
We're the original people.
And socialized
all the people came from us, so
that's
all
right.
the people got to come back to us.
Got to come back to us, and that's the way it is, you know. But I just look at us as a nation and think, Lord, where we're going down the tube in a hat box. We just not doing.
You mean black people as a nation or the United States as a nation?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I mean, the United States is in trouble. We're in trouble. We are really, really, really.
Really in trouble.
We're in trouble.
You're right. You are so right.
What is it? Japan come along and they decide they're gonna wipe us off. Poof, we gone. Is it Japan or China? Japan. Which one?
Well,
the one with the new little guy, the little short one who's training the sons.
Iran.
No,
you mean North Korea.
North Korea. Is it Korea? Yeah, he's gone.
But see, here's something people don't know. I'll give you something here. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Stacy. Nuclear bombs, atomic bombs. That's what we're afraid of in North Korea. Because they've exploded, as far as we know. 2 of them at least. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of things that are going to show you something. First thing I'm going to say is this. Nuclear bombs, and they were originally called nuclear devices, do not operate the way you and I have been told they operate. Okay, that's the first thing. They don't go, you don't just drop them and then go boom. They don't operate like bombs. They're devices. Get that in your mind first. Nuclear destructive instruments are not bombs. They're devices. And once you have that in your mind, get to this. If I have 20,000 tons of TNT, which is what they say the equivalent destructive power was of the first bomb that they dropped on Hiroshima, and I blow up that 20,000 tons of TNT, I know what that's going to do. I don't have to blow it up 53 times. I don't have to keep blowing it up time and time and time again to know what this stuff is going to do. So why did we need so much nuclear testing? First question. Think about that. Why did the United States and Russia, for that matter, and every other country that's ever gotten these bombs, or these, devices, have to test so much? If I got a bomb, and I know it's 20,000 tons of TNT, and I blow it up, it works. What do I have to keep doing it for? What's that about? Now, just hold that in your mind. The United States is the most powerful country in the world today because we have, not because of our aircraft carriers, you can knock an aircraft carrier out with one cruise missile. Not because of our destroyers and battleships, those are obsolete, they were obsoleted in the Second World War. Not because of our B-52 bombers and that kind of stuff, obsolete as well. They have the stealth bomber, which supposedly is invisible, but it doesn't even fly at supersonic speed. So it's not a whole lot either. So what makes us the secret most powerful nation in the world? You want me to tell you? I'm going to tell you. It's our nuclear submarines. Now follow this now. This is you gotta stay up with this. Our nuclear submarines all are equipped with multi-warhead guided missiles.
Which are devices.
Which are devices, really. Which are loaded with nuclear devices. And these things are going around under the water all over the world. Secret. You don't know what the hell they have. There's about 50, 60 of them all over the fucking world. They all got about 20 nuclear missiles on them. And each one of these missiles has 20 or 30 different things that can go in different... That's a lot of power. That gives us a lot of power. Now I'm going to bring you all the way back to the front where I said these are devices. That becomes important and makes us the most powerful country in the world because you can't just shoot one in the air and send it over to Russia and blow it up. They can't just shoot one in the air and send it over here and blow it up. Come to grips with that. What you've been led to believe is bull. The Russians cannot just shoot a missile over here with an atom bomb loaded on it and blow it up. We can't just shoot one there.
we can, and they can, blow these devices up if they are at the right location at the right time. That's deep. Takes a minute to suck that in. The only way a nuclear device can be triggered, it has to be in the proper geo time location on the earth. So these are scientific things that we are not even been given information.
How you know about it?
Because I read, I research.
Okay.
I read and
I
research.
thought you got in the army when you were gone. That's
Nah,
what.
this people, you know, but they ain't going in and coming out. They ain't going in and coming out. They in there for the long haul.
Okay.
And they ain't the guys over there getting their head shot off.
Okay. Speaking of that, okay, go back to the devices because I may get lost somewhere in the conversation. Okay, we're on the devices.
Right, nuclear devices.
Nuclear devices on one big thing.
They're on a platform. You got one on a platform.
Okay, so they're not like in the shape of a bomb. They're not.
Listen. They could be shaped like this doggy. The shape is irrelevant.
It is irrelevant.
It's not It's not a bomb. It's like
nuclear.
It's like if I took this and could program it to shoot atoms into a core of plutonium and did that at the right location on Earth, at the right location and time, then a nuclear explosion would take place. But if I did that just because I'm doing that and the location and the time aren't right, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Ain't nothing gonna happen.
The most that will happen is it will do what they call a dirty bomb. It will create a dirty bomb.
I've heard that term.
In other words, in every nuclear bomb, there's hundreds of thousands of pounds of regular TNT that's required to make the thing operate. The TNT makes the explosion. The device causes something different to happen in the dimension that's next to us somehow. It's something that's going on. I don't claim to know the whole thing, but I know that big explosion and all, that's a TNT. The device operating causes a destructive force to take place, but it's not. It has to be done at a certain time and place.
So it's like
that's why the submarines become so important in being the greatest power in the earth, because you can have your submarines hiding wherever and send up missiles that you've programmed to explode right over Moscow at this time tomorrow.
I understand. Okay.
Now I don't mean you just timing them. I mean this. It's very complicated to follow this. All the testing that we did for 10, 15, 20 years after the first nuclear bombs, all that testing they did out in Nevada and the Bikini Islands and all over the place, that was for scientists to figure out what the timing was. That they could use these things, how and when they could use them.
So it has to do not with the ozone.
Nothing to do with the ozone. Nothing to do with the ozone. It might have to do with different things that are coming from the sun. I don't know, but it has to.
It has to do with the natural element, is what we're saying.
It has to do with the earth. The earth.
It has to do with when the earth is rotating and when it's
parts of the earth and how the earth is that we, the general population, has not been given information to.
But Richard, if we don't have to, but if we stop and think. Okay, now stop and think. Okay. This situation, that situation is set up. Okay, I'm going to lose myself here. Okay, we're saying it's on a time, not a time according to the earth.
Time and place. It has to be in a certain place.
Okay. Time and place according to the earth. Which rotates? The Earth?
Which is rotating.
Okay, the Earth is rotating.
Tilting, spinning, all of that.
All of that. So it depends upon the exact time that the Earth is going to meet something out there in space.
Possibly.
I'm saying this is it. We're going to get money here.
You're right. You're right, because I hadn't even thought of that angle, but you're right.
Think about this. It has to be. Think about it. Okay, the Earth is rotating. Boom.
Right.
You got the sun, you got the moon, you got all
the other stuff
out there. Okay. What is the most common planet where the Earth is rotating around? Is it the sun or the moon? It's the sun. Is it?
The most influential?
Yeah.
The most influential body is going to be the moon.
The moon.
That causes our tides to roll.
Okay. So
then
maybe
the sun.
The moon. Well, if the moon is number one, the sun is number two. It's either one of those two elements.
Oh, it's something.
Okay, it's something.
The
Earth is here.
I think you're right on this,
Earth is here. Earth is moving around. It's going. Boom. If we have to do this, whatever's moving around, it's common sense. Isn't it?
If you start thinking about it.
If you think about it, it's common sense. Okay, you got the Earth. Okay, here's Earth. Red, I'm using him. Earth. Here's Earth. Boom, 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 boom. Moon is not stationary.
Right, moon is going around.
So moon is going to. Are they going counter?
The moon is going clockwise
around the Earth, which is going counterclockwise.
Which is going clockwise around the sun.
So maybe it's the sun. Maybe it's both.
It's going clockwise.
Which one is okay? Okay, moon, sun. Okay,
Earth.
Earth revolving.
And going
sun.
Counterclockwise, huh?
Okay.
Well, it's east to west or west to east. So
that's the way the sun rises. The sun rises in the east, sits in the west. So, which means that the Earth is turning towards the sun from the east.
Okay.
From where we are.
It may be both elements. It may be the moon and the sun.
And the sun.
It could be both.
But something else is causing these devices, to click on and operate and cause a nuclear explosion.
It's the timing of the moon and the sun.
Rose, the Earth, where I'm taking all this is the Earth, this huge thing that we're on, is alive. And we are the life that's on it. If, right now, how many more, in 20 years, how many more electrical lines do you think they can put up? How many more electrical lines do you think they can put up? You see, did I ask you, have you ever heard this guy Nikola Tesla? Too much about him you can go into, but if you get a chance, look him up sometime. Smartest man that everything that we have today to do with electronics, electricity, everything came from this guy. And yet you don't even know about it. Yet you do know who Alexander Graham Bell was. Because he stole most of his stuff. But Nikola Tesla, you don't know who he was. And this man was a total genius. A total genius. But he didn't want money, per se, for what he was letting them, turning them on to, his inventions, his ideas. He didn't want money for them. He just wanted the money to produce them, to get them out. Well, in any case, Tesla says, and was producing them, you don't need all these wires and all this crap to get energy. The Earth is a giant motor that's generating energy constantly, more than mankind could possibly ever use. And it's free. It's constantly being generated by the Earth's magnet. And Tesla built generating stations in New Jersey, they got a couple of them still there, that would transmit this energy through the Earth. And you didn't have to have a line coming to your house.
you could have a receiver, kind of like a
That's something
radio.
like the solar system, right?
Kind of like a solar system, only much more
More
efficient.
efficient,
Right.
yeah, you know.
You could have like a radio, and you could tune into the Earth's thing and get all the energy you wanted to supply your house, all of this. But what I'm trying to make is there's all kinds of stuff that goes on at the top 2% in this world
No.
that own everything. Some stuff they're not even going to allow to get out to us. And it's going to be the kind of stuff that would empower and give us freedom. Mr. Obama, I hope him the best. I told Dean before he got, I said, I'm not putting my faith in this man. He didn't get where he is in politics in this country without being a politician, a damn good one. Now, because he's a damn good politician doesn't mean that he's his own man. It usually means if he's gotten as far as he's gotten that he owes a whole lot of people. And he don't owe me. So I ain't looking for anything from him.
I'm not either. You know, that's the way I feel too, because I just don't. That's when I say I don't deify him. I do not.
Exactly.
I respect him. I respect him as a black man who
Right.
is trying to do whatever the itty bitty,
Exactly.
just the teeny weeny bit. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever he can do,
Whatever he can do, I'm all for him, and I will not put him down. I got an email. I received an email one time from some of my black sisters here. And they were sending this email around, and it was really defamation of him because they were saying, what it was saying, it was right before election. And I said, how stupid. They were sending this email around talking about unemployment rate and how the unemployment rate is so high among blacks since Obama. I said, I said, are you stupid?
Since
Unemployment rate has been, and I told William.
Since blacks have been in this country?
Since we've been in this country, since we've been born, since we've been anywhere.
Right.
Unemployment rate.
Right.
But this was a thing, I mean, it was like a half
This was coming
page.
from black people?
This was coming from black people, Richard. Black people I know. People that I knew stood out there and made sure they voted for him, and other people in churches voted. And then you're going to send something. And I told William, I said, I didn't respond to it. And I told him, I said, if I get one more email like that, I'm going to respond. I'm going to respond because you dummy. You dumb A. If you do your reading, go back into your history and do your research and do what you need to do. You know we've never had been the hardest people to ever get credit. We've always been the highest unemployed. We've always been, according to the...
First five.
That's right. We've always been. So why are you going to send something stupid?
Like this all started under Obama.
On Obama. Everything started on Obama. You stupid. And this is what I go back to in the beginning of talking about our slave mentality. Our slave mentality. You know, even if you don't agree, and like you said and I've said, I mean, I do not deify him. I respect him. I appreciate everything that he's doing. He better not mess around with no gal up there and get it embarrassed. I'm serious. I may have to go to.
I don't know about that with him.
I will, as long as Michelle, because I think he'd be a dead man.
I'm telling
He'd be a dead man.
He
you know.
would be, and she would be too.
she would.
Michelle would have to take it out.
She would. I don't. You know, but as long as he doesn't do anything to embarrass himself, to embarrass God, and to embarrass us, I don't have a problem with anything else. He cannot do, nothing can happen. Because it wasn't meant to happen anyway with him in office. And that's the way I look at it. You know.
He's already accomplished more than any president has since.
Well, Rich, you know,
that
health care, that was on the table before. You understand what I'm saying?
Been on the table bunches of times.
Bunches of time. But
he got
it through.
Him and who?
2%.
2%, but closer than that, him and Miss Nancy Pelosi.
Oh. Yep.
Say what you want about Nancy Pelosi. They said in the thing the other day. Without her, without Nancy, and her infighting, and knowing what to do and how to do, he'd have never gotten anything.
May I ask you, what do you think about Miss Palin? Sarah Palin.
I don't.
I don't either. I do not either. I just do not either. I just.
You know what did our parents tell us? You got nothing good to say about somebody?
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing at all. I got not much good to say about that woman.
I do not. But you know what? What really irritates me with her is that she's carrying more strength than we think. That Tea Party thing, you remember to see that Tea Party is what got the Republicans back in office. Right. See, she's pushing that. And as ignorant as she is, as unknowing as she's still attractive because she has the nerve, the gall, the audacity to stand up and deface everything that's Democratic.
Right.
She doesn't care.
She's a challenger.
She's getting the money. She's getting rich.
What we got to keep in mind too is this:
the Tea Party. Again, nothing's new. The Tea Party is a new name for an old organization or an old tactic, if you would.
Yeah.
Barry Goldwater had the what did they used to call them back in the 60s? The moral majority.
Yep.
The moral majority.
Yep.
Then they came up with the religious right. The religious right. Then it's the same, and now we got the Tea Party. It's the same tactics
same ideology.
used by with the same ideology, being funded by the same
people. 2%.
2% or whatever comes out at 2% that wants to keep things running away. And again, I tell people all the time too. So what are you? What are you? I'm a progressive. First, I'm a human being. Well, no, I'm two things. First, on a real tip, I'm a human being. Well, I know that, but that's all I can claim, really. That's all I came here with. That's all I'm going to go out with.
You know what, but though, Richard, I think that, have you ever stopped and thought and just sat and thought and just that our family, I'm going to go back to our parents, our moms, our uncles, we were never taught and never, regardless, we didn't have nothing. We had nothing.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? The Little Johns had nothing.
Right.
The Howards had nothing.
Right.
We had nothing. You understand? We were poor people.
They don't even know.
We were poor people.
Yep.
But you know what? We never knew it.
Right.
Did
right.
we?
That's it.
We never knew it. We never knew it.
She said, "How could y'all do that?"
We did not. We've never known, and never. We know we're black.
We've never been poor in spirit.
In spirit. We've never been poor in spirit, and that'll carry a long way. We've never feared. We can talk to anybody on any level. Our mothers were the same way. Didn't care if it was a janitor down in the boiler or the president in the White House.
Care.
Our parents.
That's right.
Am I lying?
That's right.
Am I lying? A lot of people cannot claim that. A lot of people cannot claim what we're saying.
Yep.
And Cicely was saying, Cicely and I were talking about it, and she was saying, "Mama, people think we got something." I said, "Yes, they do." I said, "And we're poor." I said, "Do you know why?" I said, "Because when we step out that door, we act as though we have something. We don't even have bread on the table." Yep. I said, "And that's the way I said, "You can't help it." I told her, I said, "You cannot help it because it's in your genes. Right. It comes from your grandparents."
Yep.
And we had nothing. We had nothing. We were a family who, as far as materialistic things and houses, but when you walked in the house on 819 Frederick Street, you could eat off the floor. 1,000 of us in there.
Stacy wanted to know what address in Shelby I could give her to put into. I said, where I was raised at 819 Frederick Street. She said, "Yeah, but don't nobody live there."
Don't matter.
It came up still.
Came up, and we were, and that I think that I think that's a blessing for us that we can talk to anybody. We can walk among the best of them.
Rose, how's the boys?
Which one? Jamie's good. He's good, not handling anything. I mean, he's not. Jamie is the emotional one. Very emotional, and the whole thing is hurting him. I mean, it's taking a real heavy effect on. It's having a heavy effect on him. He's handling it, but he's not.